All right, everyone, I've been excited about this for the last hour. I hope you've been excited as well, because coming hot off of a fantastic GDQ run of another 2D Zelda title, I'm excited to present the legendary TGH with his run of The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. Take it away, team.
You're way too kind. Thank you, Char. All right, so I'm here. I'm TGH. Welcome to the run, and thank you for checking out the Only Marathon. Seriously, this has been a hugely successful marathon so far. I'm so proud of everyone involved, all the staff, everyone who's donated, everybody who's come and checked out the marathon. Like, thank y'all so much for being here. Seriously. I'm here with my commentator. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Ice.
Hello, my name is Ice Blue, and yeah, I'm here to do some Zelda comms.
All right.
I don't know, I was trying to think of something.
All right, cool. So, right off the bat, I'm going to be starting off with some RNG manipulation. This is one instance of RNG manipulation that's actually like fairly simple. We'll explain it as we go because there's a long intro cutscene. So I'm going to count down from a certain point after a hard reset. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry, that's hard to actually time, but yeah. So here's the intro cutscene. Right now, so I'm technically on RNG manipulation right now. So the Capcom Zeldas, all the Capcom Zeldas, this game as well as the Oracle games, are very simplified in terms of how RNG actually works, in terms of how, like, you know, it rolls. Like, basically, it rolls when you swing your sword, and it rolls when you, well, roll. So, yeah, basically, we don't really have to do anything besides just roll twice in order to get a blue rupee drop in Link's house that is supposed to be random, but because it's manipulated, it's guaranteed. And this blue rupee actually helps a ton with rupee routing up until the grip ring, which we get on Mount Krenel, which allows us to climb walls.
I wish I could roll in my house and guarantee a $5 spawn.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would.
Endless couch cash. Anyway, so the game begins with Zelda coming over to Link's house, and pretty soon we're going to be getting a sword to deliver to Hyrule Castle. But yeah,
first
so
we have to awaken the hero here.
Yep. So as long as I don't roll more than twice here, I'm just going to roll twice in the next room, and that's going to set the RNG up properly for the blue rupee drop. There we go. So now the RNG is properly set up. So there's this run is honestly pretty it's pretty wild once we actually get going. The first 30 or so minutes are completely, or almost completely, glitchless. But we are going to see some pretty wild glitches in this run. But there's the blue rupee I was talking about, right after getting to 20 as well in that chest. Our main method of movement, at least at the beginning, or throughout the first 40 or so minutes of the run, is going to be rolling. Rolling is our fastest method of movement. Like, diagonally, it's barely faster to roll, but in straight lines, it is definitely way faster to roll. Oh, whoops, I talked to the wrong NPC there. Cool. Good start. Yeah, further along in the run, we will be getting the Pegasus Boots, which if you're familiar with any other 2D Zelda, or almost any other 2D Zelda, besides like the very early ones, you're probably familiar with the Pegasus Boots. Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, they both have Pegasus Boots. The Pegasus Boots are actually really nice in this game. They allow you to strafe your dash, or like kind of turn your dash, and it's nice. All right, so we just got
the past. Take notes.
We just got the shield, and that is going to be very important later on in this run. Not necessarily for blocking things necessarily, but little did Zelda know when we got this shield that we were going to use it to completely break Temple of Droplets later. All right, so now we're just delivering the sword up here.
Spoilers. We just gonna ruin the 4th dungeon here.
I mean, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, so like I said, like a lot of the early going is just a lot of like just trying your best to optimize little things. There's quite a bit of RNG in the start of this run, or it's just RNG that will like influence your time little by little. Nothing huge. My goal for marathon purposes is just going to be to kind of just not make any huge major mistakes throughout the early going. But
while we're in this early part, would you mind if I read a
yeah,
donation?
sure, absolutely. Now's the perfect time, actually.
Awesome. We have $31 from Mean Fiend taking up my challenge of the $31 one and saying, I'm amazed at how much this community has come together for FPE and Kid. Raising as much in one day that most marathons raise in an entire weekend is amazing, and we still have 2 days to go. Much love to everyone and GL on the run, Tej, as well as the rest of the runners this event. And with that, they did put it toward the prisoner percent, which is now in the lead by $1 for that Monolith Relics of the Past category choice. And that brought us over the $400 mark for the Sonic One Forever Boss Rush incentive. So thank you so much for helping us out with both of those wonderful challenges.
Thank you very much, Minfin, as well. And to everybody who's donated. Also, y'all are very much appreciated. Thank you. Alright, so now we're actually going to get a sword that we can use. The Force Sword, during that cutscene, the Force Sword, which was in that chest, was broken. We received that to go and repair at Malari Mines later, which is on Mount Krenel. But for now, we get our own sword as well, and a map, and we're just going to roll out of here. So you might have noticed that I'm mashing text in a very particular way as well. Like I have my input display down at the bottom left of the game feed. So text in this game is actually pretty, it's pretty neat to mash. If you hold B, like it makes the text scroll faster, and you can actually mash text away with any button on the controller except for like basically start and select. So you have, like, basically, I'm just holding B and mashing every other button, including the D-pad, which is super nice for mashing. Alright, so here we have the Minish Woods. I had to kill that Octorok to actually get it out of my way. Once again, just, like, trying my best to optimize rolls. And we're gonna meet a pretty major character of this game and of this run, Eslo. There we go. So here's Eslo. He's getting bullied by some Octoroks, and we need to go rescue him. Yep, so we're just going to be taking care of these Octoroks. But yeah, the beginning of this run is fairly dry. It's not dry. I won't say it's dry. It's interesting, I think, at least in my opinion, from a runner standpoint. But yeah, enjoy the semblance of the Minish Cap while it lasts, because right about 30, 35 or so minutes, we're going to be sort of breaking this game wide open.
Did you hear that, chat? Set your timers 23 minutes from now. Everything goes crazy. Hope you're ready.
Like exactly 23 minutes? Because if you're wrong...
It's good to be prepared in advance.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not too late on it, we're good.
So...
Get hydrated now, just in case.
For anybody who doesn't know the premise of this game, we just shrunk down to Minish size for the first time in this game. So the Minish are a race that are just basically kind of minuscule in size. And we're about to visit one of their villages, appropriately called the Minish Village. So you can see, like, we are very small now. Like, the game presents that scope in a way that like basically compares you, it compares you to like the acorns on the ground stuff. I think this game is really cool, honestly. I think this game, like the concept of this game is super cool. In fact, the first dungeon that we enter is as a Minish, or as a Minish size, I should say. I'm just gonna say as a Minish for the sake of simplicity. Going out forward from here, but yeah, basically we enter Deepwood Shrine as a Minish. All right, so we've entered Minish Village, and we can't actually speak with anybody yet because we don't understand their language. So we just got an item called the Jabbernut. That is the actual name of the item. I'm not making that up. But yeah, that allows us to speak with the Minish, like basically understand what they say and also communicate back. Alright, so this elder, like, basically just tells us where to go, or tells us, you need to find the 4 elements, or the 4 essences, rather. Essences? No, this isn't the Oracle games. The 4 elements. Yeah, the I get Zelda games confused sometimes, sorry. So yeah, these are the elements, which we need to restore the 4 sword to its former glory. Alright, so here's Deepwood Shrine. Once again, just trying our best to optimize movement. Oh, I got good RNG here. Yeah, it's good RNG. That slug moving towards the top of the room actually lets me just roll through it, like nice, and it minimizes the chance of the rest of the room kind of like messing with you.
Yeah, that's another thing, like with this game, like you can roll through certain enemies and it just doesn't even hurt you.
Yeah, you can roll through most enemies. Right there, by the way, so I just came across an Ezlo trigger, so like right here's another Ezlo trigger. Like Ezlo will just like talk to you automatically. I need to do my best not to roll into those triggers, because each time I do, that is about a 1-second time loss. For whatever reason, the game just takes longer for Ezlo to start talking to you if you roll into one of his triggers.
To be fair, if I saw someone rolling toward me, I'd probably hesitate before talking with them too.
Makes sense, honestly. Ezlo probably feels threatened. Alright, so this is sort of like the central mechanic of Deepwood Shrine. This is the barrel that we have, we've released the sort of, what do you call it? Like the things that were keeping it fastened to the ground, so we are now able to rotate it around and access more of the dungeon. Oh, I'm getting good RNG here too. So these things are called pestos, by the way, the flying things. They're the most annoying things ever. Or at least in this game.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty annoying in this dungeon.
I think there are probably more annoying things in like Zelda 1, for instance. Like by default.
Yeah. So many enemies in that game.
Oh yeah, Ezlo's favorite letter is E, by the way. I thought I should mention that.
E.
If it weren't obvious enough already. E! I can't go that high pitched. My apologies. So yeah, a lot of this dungeon is just like, it introduces some mechanics like pulling these mushrooms, letting go of the D-pad in order to fling yourself forward, over the water and stuff like that. Yeah, like this is pretty basic stuff. How to push and pull statues. Enemies hurt you. This game is kind of, or this dungeon rather, is kind of a tutorial section. Little mob mini boss fight here. I'm getting really strange RNG, but that's fine. Sort of a ring around the rosy musical chairs room there. All right, continuing on. We're about to come up onto a mini boss pretty soon called Matterpillar. Matterpillar is very RNG based in the way it moves. Basically, the idea is to hit its nose and then hit its tail. Like, hitting its nose makes it vulnerable. It went the wrong way. Okay. I believe the tail takes 16 hits. Yeah, the idea is just to get as many hits in as possible on each cycle. Ideally, I'd 2-cycle it, and I did. Cool. Alright, so that's a 2-cycle Matter Pillar. And now we get the Gust Jar, which is a pretty interesting item. Like, you might remember in Skyward Sword, which actually came, what, like 7 or 8 years after this game. So it had,
like that,
yeah, it had an item called the Gust Bellows. This is kind of the precursor to the Gust Bellows. I forget if there was another item that was similar in another Zelda game. Okay, so
I
yeah.
think it's just the Gust Bellows.
Now we have this section. This is a lily pad section, and basically the pestos make this part really awful. So my job is just to try not to fall off the lily pad, honestly. The lily pad, or the pestos themselves are trying everything they can to knock me off. One really annoying thing about the pestos is that they have like 0 knockback. So like, watch, I'm gonna try and hit this guy, or maybe I won't actually. Oh, okay, yeah, see. Yeah, they're kind of annoying. But like, I hit them and they just don't knock back, so like, it's just... They're terrible. They're terrible enemies. I'll just go ahead and say it. They're awful.
It reminds me of like Keys in every other Zelda game.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. Like, they are... there are keys in this game, but the pestos are like the keys of this game, even though there are keys already in the game, if that makes any sense.
Keys 2.0.
Yep, so you use the Gust Jar as well to pull the mushrooms. I'm just trying to get as close as I can to the edge here. There we go. With some of them, you don't want to go too far. Like, the game actually does a really good job of teaching you exactly how, like, the Gust Jar works here and how it's supposed to work with the mushrooms and how it interacts with different things. This game is honestly really well designed, in my opinion. Alright, so now we are entering the boss room. This is, so this goes back to how well I think, like, the concept of this game works. So you have a normal-sized green shoe, right? It just sort of settles into the dungeon, and it acts as a boss to this dungeon by being giant compared to Link. It's actually, like, really neat. How to defeat it? You basically... Like, you suck it. I don't even know how to say that otherwise. You suck it with the Gust Jar until the base of it is completely diminished, and then it falls over on you. And you hit it 5 times. Hitting it more doesn't actually do anything. So I will just be hitting it 5 times. Okay, that was actually lucky. I messed that up, but we lucked out. Alright, one more cycle should do it. I know where it's going to fall by its first movement, by the way. Its first movement is always towards where it's going to fall, and I actually got really good RNG there, so it's going to fall to the right. 4 hits that time. Stand as close to the middle of the room as I can, and I think I got it pixel perfect, actually. Yeah, I did. Nice. Yeah, so Link automatically moves to the very middle of the room in order to pick up the element, and I was able to stand right in the perfect spot there. Which is nice. It actually does save time. Alright, I'm going to pick up the heart because this game is ruthless once it gets going. Okay. So we have the earth element. We have 1 out of 4 elements that we need. Alright, so now we're going to go back and see the Elder of the Town, who is going to let us out via a secret exit to the west, and then we're going to get bombs from one of the Minish folk. And bombs are going to unlock the next part of the game for us.
While we're on our way to get bombs, would it be a good time to sneak in a
Absolutely,
donation?
sure.
Awesome! We have $20 from Ori Sky, who says, "Hey Tej, good luck on the run, and say hi to Lugia? Latias? Whatever Pokemon it is, say hi. Here's to Ezlo shouting my favorite vowel throughout the entire game, and King whatever he's called giving us the hey.
Hey.
Putting this donation towards the Sonic 1 Forever Boss Rush and Battlein. That puts the Sonic Forever Boss Rush. I tripped over that one pretty hard. Sonic 1 Forever Boss Rush incentive at $423 out of a needed 1,000, and that's our first donation toward the Celeste bid war. That means Battlein is currently in the lead with $20 to 0. So if you'd like to see that change around, please get your donations in.
Thank you very much. Or yeah, the Lugia, like the basically like Pokemon comment that Ori made is actually referring to the boss of the second dungeon. You'll see. You'll see. If you haven't seen this game, you'll see what that boss is. Okay, so this guy right here, the Hurdy-Gurdy Man, is his actual name. I'm not making that up either. It is faster to save and quit to avoid fusing with him. He's basically meant to serve as a tutorial on how to fuse kinstones, which we will do a little bit later, but not right now. But yeah, we know how to fuse kinstones, and it is faster to save and quit to avoid that cutscene of fusing the kinstone. Right here, we're actually learning how to spin slash, because we will need that later. That is the only sword skill that we will need to know for this run. Here we go, we got that. All right, so coming up, I'm going to perform the first glitch of this run, or at least try to. The Postman went down. That is actually really nice. The Postman is basically like the worst NPC ever. But I'm going to abuse home tiles here. So since that road actually, no tile on that road actually serves as a home tile or a safe tile. So if I set my last home tile to be near the sign, I can just sneak right past that guard. That saves 1 second. That saves 1 second over just showing him that I know how to spin slash. Because that is how you get past them. There we just bought a bottle. And so you see now that we have 5 rupees, right? We're about to enter Mount Krenel, and there's one screen on Mount Krenel where we get 15 rupees just by entering a cave and getting some rupees. That is actually required. Because we have literally not a single rupee to spare for the grip ring. And you can see now just how important getting that 5 rupee in Link's house.
You got Sonic on the mind?
You can tell I speedrun both Zelda and Sonic because like I confuse rings for rupees and rupees for rings like quite often. That is not a roll. I tried something there called a roll lift. I failed it. I actually failed it twice now, but I'll be attempting that many more times in the run. So a roll lift with bombs is so all right. The fuse for a bomb, like the timer on the fuse, will start, or like it'll go faster the sooner you actually pick up and throw the bomb, right? So like what a roll lift actually is we are okay, so we're placing a bomb and then rolling exactly 2 frames later. And what that does is it counts the bomb as having been thrown immediately. And that makes the bomb explode the fastest possible. It is the fastest way to get a bomb to explode. From placing it to explosion. I won't always be doing it just because sometimes it's either not faster or just not worth doing. It saves like 40 frames. So like it's not really it's a small optimization. It's not crucial to the run at all at any point. It's just like a little thing you can do to save time. Alright, so as we make our way up Mount Krenel, I did get some green water to water a bean, I don't know, like a seed, like a green seed. Yeah, we use the water pretty soon to water a seed, which we're about to plant right there in that hole.
Is this what I've been doing wrong with my houseplants? Is I've been giving them regular water instead of green water?
Definitely.
Yes. Now
Definitely. I know. As a certified green botanist. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. I can't even pretend that I know what I'm saying. Green botanist. That doesn't even make any sense. Green water botanist. There we go. See, you put the water on the seed and it makes it grow. See? Alright, so coming up, we're actually going to perform, it's not even a glitch, it's just like a thing you can do. So that doesn't look like it should be possible. Nice bomb drop. But that's just like how it works. Like the way layers work in this game, you can just like use the gust jar through that boundary. So, yeah. The way layers work in this game is kind of strange. It'll actually be extremely relevant later. What is this P-Hat doing? Okay, cool. That was a little bit awkward. Alright, so here's the grip ring, and you can see now we have 0 rupees. So we had a perfect allocation of our rupees there. And we need more. We need even more, but once we get the rupee chest in Cave of Flames, which is up the top of Mount Crenel, we'll be all set for rupees for the rest of the run. Alright, so this part right here, I'm actually at a pretty good health, but I really need for the rocks to cooperate and not actually land on me. This part is like basically luck. But yeah, we're actually gonna be more dependent on luck, like even more dependent on luck, like at the top of here, because we need to pull a mushroom and just kind of hope that neither of these enemies get in my way. These lovely enemies, these lovely, just beautiful enemies. So you gotta bribe them. You gotta bribe them to stay out of your way. There you go. Perfect. But yeah, if they touch me while I'm pulling that mushroom, the pulling gets canceled and it loses me a lot of time. Like basic.
Yeah, can we take a moment to appreciate the fact that they used the same track here for
yes.
in the past? Sound of the falling rain.
Yeah, I always thought this was neat. I think it's even.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I think it's even neater that they used it as like the soundtrack for just like rock pushing. Because like it's. I feel like this soundtrack is great when you're going through like the area with the huge raindrops. But then like once you become big and start pushing the rock, it's like you get. It's intense. It's so intense pushing this rock right now. Okay, there we go. Moving onward. Pushing more blocks. This is basically Mount Push Block. That's what this mountain is. We're not done yet, don't worry.
Didn't you know? Crenel stands for push. Block.
In what language? Hylian? Minish? The Minish language, yes. Crenel means push block. Makes sense. These 20 rupees we need right here as well. Once again, just taking care not to take too much damage because Cave of Flames, although there is health at the beginning of the dungeon, which I probably will end up taking since this is a marathon. After all, like at this health, I might not take it ordinarily, but I will. I want to make sure I'm at full health. In Cave of Flames, and in Cave of Flames, by the way, is where we're gonna see this run start to become not glitchless anymore, basically. So I've done a few very minor glitches, or I've done one and attempted another but failed, whatever. But pretty soon we're gonna be just kind of ripping this game apart.
By ripping it apart, you mean developer intendedly?
Yes.
Yes, intendedly. I'm making up words as well.
Intendedly, yes. We're going to
Is that also Minish?
Yes. we're going to intendedly diagonally push blocks, or pull blocks rather, which is something that we're not really supposed to be able to do, and by that I mean we're definitely not supposed to be able to do it.
You're about to say intendedly.
Yes. So it's something called diagonal angle retention. So you've probably noticed by now that Link can face in one of 4 directions. Pretty much always. Okay, that's fine. I failed another roll lift. It's really good. It's hard. It's frame perfect, but like still.
Think of the poor frames.
So Link can only face in one of 4 directions typically, right? So on the atypical situation, Link can actually face in a diagonal direction as well. So in order to do that, you need to go into a hole, and you'll see holes pretty soon. You need to go into a hole and pop out by pressing a diagonal direction. And when you do that, the game will store your angle as being diagonal for whatever reason. This. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's just really bad luck.
That's some really bad luck.
There we go. Get in my way. Come on, come down. That's bad. Okay, we're fine. Alright, so the game will store my my angle as being a diagonal angle, and when I interact with certain things, it creates oddities, which you will see. Basically, when you pull an object, the direction which you pull the object is actually dependent on Link's angle. So if you have a diagonal angle, you can only guess which way the block is going to go when I pull it. Diagonally, right? Diagonally
I was gonna say up.
I was gonna
well,
go down.
up,
Dang it, we were
well,
both wrong.
up diagonally, yes, that is true.
One day I'll get it right.
Alright, watch how high I can stand here on the platform, by the way. I'm not on this platform. Like, straight up not on it. I could have just slashed him. Oh well. That's fine. Okay. So this is actually the room where we're going to be performing the glitch. So I'm going to focus for a little bit. But just know that when I pull this block diagonally, it's going to be going into the transition and destroying the tile that's meant to transition me from this screen to the next screen, therefore allowing me to go out of bounds once I actually grasp it.
Very developer intended.
All right, here we go. This is it. There is a setup to get to where I need to be, and if I don't get it, I soft lock, so I need to be very careful here. Okay, here we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that just skipped a bunch of rooms and a key as well. So I have a key where I'm not supposed to, and I can use this key for the door in the next room instead of going to get another one. Oh, I didn't kill you. Whoops. Okay. That was weird.
Still a decent gray chew fights.
Okay, so we have the Cane of Pachi. I don't really know who Pachi is, but their cane allows us to flip things upside down. There's a cycle I can make in this room between the traps here, and we got it. Nice. Cycle can be hard to make without taking damage. And potentially getting stuck as well, which is super annoying. Alright, so coming back, we're about to do that glitch again, by the way, to get into the boss room and completely skip the boss key. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and re-equip that. So these enemies in this room are called Rollabites, and I'm gonna use them.
Yeah, we just casually just launched one out of bounds.
Yep, so holding diagonally here, I just kind of like pop out on the other side, and now I'm able to pull it like this. Push that one up against the wall. I'm holding out my sword, by the way, to maintain my angle. And now, there we go, we can just clip right through. And make sure I'm as far north as possible in this room. With bottle, I need this fairy for later. That's not exactly for safety. In fact, it's not for safety at all. That is for me to perform a glitch once I get out of here. But here we have Lugia / Palkia / Lapras / it's basically an amalgamation of like 17 different legendary Pokemon.
Did we say hi to it? That's what we were
Yes,
supposed to do. Yes,
say hi to Gleerock. That's the name of the boss. And by the way, Gleerock is on the walls here too. I'm contractually obligated to point that out in a marathon.
What are you talking about? That's Heatran.
it's Heatran. It's like, God, I have been playing Legends Arceus lately. I've got legendary Pokemon on the brain as well. That doesn't help. So basically, yeah, the premise of this boss is pretty simple. You use the Cane of Pachi to flip the shell, and the shell just kind of lands right on Gleerock. You can also use the sword to block the fire that's coming at you, by the way. You can try that one at home. Nice. Thanks, Rocks. Alright, one more cycle here. This cycle, he can do a lot more things here. Okay, that's fine. He's going to be up there. Should be fine. That cycle's only 5 hits, thankfully. Okay. Yeah, that's Gleerock. Yeah, that last cycle was kind of weird, but I expected him to fall to the right, but now he fell to the north.
Chad, all right. Did you think the glitches were over with? Because no, they're just getting started.
Okay, Ice. If you have the notes, if you could read off what Octoclip is and why I do it, or if you could like just explain that for me.
Octoclip is basically, so we're gonna use a glitch called Bottle Glitch. Good name. We're gonna use a thing called Bottle Glitch, and what that's gonna do is we're gonna actually use a fairy while accessing dialogue with a signpost, and that's gonna store a value that will allow us to do a glitch called the Octoclip. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna allow us to basically get pushed out of bounds by a rock beetle, one of the rock beetles, the little flying things, or I'm sorry, the little moving things that are under the rocks, and it's gonna allow us to basically super jump out of bounds, and we're gonna kind of leave Mount Crenel without actually leaving Mount Crenel. So we're gonna use this signpost here. We've already done it, but
I thought that PI was gonna get in my way. But yeah, the bottle glitch allows me to be invulnerable to basically everything, which is imperative to that glitch, by the way. And the rock beetle, upon, well, sitting on me, for lack of a better term, pushes me out of bounds. And there we go.
And suddenly we're in an area that we're not even supposed to be in.
Yep, and so the main reason why we did that, in addition to the ability to leave Mount Crenel faster, is also the fact that we get to skip. We skip the cutscene there, because that cutscene, for whatever reason, checks to see if you have the red sword, and you're supposed to have the red sword when you actually enter there, but the game checks for it anyway, for some reason. But because we don't have it, it doesn't play a cutscene that triggers the guards to be on high alert in front of Hyrule Castle. So we don't have to deal with that for the entire run. So ordinarily you'd need to do a kind of stealth section and then go through sewers to access Hyrule Castle. We do not have to do that in this run because we did that. And that completely skips that completely skips any need to do that.
It saves like 9 years. The cutscene is like really long.
It's a good cutscene for reasons, but it is long, yes. Alright, so next up we're going to come over here. So these crests, by the way, I activated one also right after Deepwood Shrine. Those crests serve as warps later on. So there we go. There's a roll lift. We got one. We got one, folks.
Woo, let's go.
40 frames saved.
Finally, the runner has finally thought of the frames.
I finally considered the frames. Oops, please, Link. Sorry, just had to twerk there for a second.
Yeah, we had to go in here because you know, good old Talon forgot his key inside the house. Sounds like Talon, doesn't it?
Yep.
First he just falls asleep outside of Hyrule Castle, leaves his poor daughter just standing around for like 12 hours. And now he locks his key in his own house. Like, how did you lock your key in the house? Won't you need the key to lock your door?
Yeah, I don't know. Strange family. Whoa, that's not a crevice I thought existed. All right, cool. So we are now on our way to buy the mushroom. And what the mushroom does is it wakes up the shoemaker that fell asleep. So, oh, something I didn't mention, by the way, is that, so because of the way the flags in this game work, you have to actually go over and read a sign near where Castor Wilds begins in order to start the side quest that allows you to get the boots in the first place. So if you're wondering why I read that sign, that's why. And in doing that, caused the shoemaker to fall asleep when I entered the shoemaker's hut. Oh, I kind of wish I'd grabbed that heart. Oh well, it's fine. Honestly, my health is fine here anyway. But we're coming up pretty soon, though, on one of the hardest parts of this run, and the first real instance of RNG manipulation.
Yeah, Castor Wilds is not a fun segment to manipulate.
Well, it is if it goes well.
There,
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was gonna say before we get there, do you mind if I break in with a quick
donation?
Sure. Awesome. We have $20 from Taco Von Dutch, who says, "This is a great cause. Take my money." And that went toward Battlein as well for that incentive. So Battlein's up 40-0 on Madeline, and it also went toward that Sonic One Forever boss rush. Thanks, Taco.
Yo, thank you so much. Postman getting my way. Good stuff. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going to be getting the bow in Castor Wilds. Like, that's like mission number 1. And then right after we get the bow, we're going to save and quit. We actually skip an Ezla trigger there, by the way, by rolling into the bog right away. And then dashing from the bog. Yeah, right after we get the bow over here, we're going to be starting RNG manipulation. Ice, if you wanted to explain sort of what's going to be happening after I get the bow as far as RNG manipulation goes, should just be in the Fortress of Winds Enter segment.
Yeah, so
whoops.
What our goal here is we want to manipulate Kinstone drops, I believe, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we're manipulating Kinstone drops, and we're also manipulating a certain P-hat spawn. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually use that very, very specific P-hat spawn to perform a glitch, which is famously named P-hat Clip. Who came up with these names?
Someone sensible? Okay, here we go.
Anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're going to basically manipulate this P-hat into moving, and then we're going to use the Gush Jar to pull the P-hat and launch it into a very specific spot. And we're basically going to have this P-hat allow us, like, push us out of bounds, and which will just allow us to skip needing all 3 of the golden Kenstones for this segment.
Okay, here we go.
TG is gonna push this P-Hat with the shield and the Gush Jar around and keep stunning it with the Gush Jar.
All right, there we go.
And he's good to go. So now we can just kind of walk through walls.
Yeah, a lot is happening here in not a lot of time. So like, I wish I had the capacity to explain more about what's happening, but just know that we're abusing the way layers work in game. Like, we basically avoided a transitional tile that's meant to transition you between layers by clipping into that signpost with the P-Hat.
And we're still on RNG manipulation here, because we're still in need of a couple more green kinstones.
Yep, just one more green. But mainly this is for something called lever clip. This manip here, and then we follow up that manip with an additional manip for the green kinstone, and then hopefully a red kinstone after that.
For those of us who may not have played the game before, what are the kinstones and why do we need them?
Okay, so the kinstones, alright, so the kinstones that we get here, sorry I had to reset that. The kinstones that we get here are for the Magical Boomerang, which we need to skip a lot of template droplets. I actually don't know what happened there, to be honest with you. Like, I just kind of didn't clip, instead I just got hit. Can try that again, though. Unfortunately, with this route, there's not much of a backup for that. You just gotta kind of, like, reset. There we go. That's better. That's what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, we skip a section there where we become a Minish in another room, and then enlarge ourselves on that portal to the left. But we extend this minute by dashing, killing this guy, and there we go. There's our green. Okay, so I got an extra sparkle there, which you can use the sparkles here to identify your RNG seed. So that just tells me that I should not roll into this room. That should be fixed. So the goal here is to manipulate for a red kinstone here on the Darknut midi-boss fight. Which is a kinstone that we can ordinarily get by just opening a chest on the way to the boss fight, but this saves 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, so now if I did this right, yep, he's charging at me. 3 additional slashes, and there it is. Perfect.
Very clean.
Only second try, not bad. There's another roll lift, nice. So you can see how much quicker that bomb exploded relative to when I picked it up.
And we get the item in the dungeon, the mole mitts.
Yep. Do you want to explain what portal items is? Because I'm going to be doing that to get into the boss fight here.
Alright, so portal items. Basically what that is going to entail is basically when you use items while jumping on the like the Minish portals, aka we're going to be using these mole mitts to, you know, kind of perform another little glitch here. But yeah, by using items on the Minish portals, you interrupt the item animation with the jump onto the portal itself, and it allows you to basically clip out of bounds here.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, we're gonna use the Bob Blast to clip out of bounds there, but it allows you to jump off, but you're still in the Minish, like animation, and we use that to skip the remaining half of this dungeon to get straight to the boss.
Yeah, so that jump out of bounds that I did actually has it has a 5-frame window for the jump off as well. Like, I need to identify the frame of the bomb explosion. But we got it all good.
You might remember this boss from Super Mario 64.
Or the Wind Waker.
I mean, this game came before the Wind. Never mind.
It did not, actually.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Like,
no, the Wind Waker came a year before.
my timeline's all messed up.
Oh,
Okay.
whoops. But yeah, so the idea here is just to, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Just hit the hands with the bow and arrow, and then, whoops, not do that. Oh,
and
cool.
then we need to find out which one of these little pillars has the weak spot on Mazel.
Yep. One thing to note is that so there are 3 cycles here, and the eye, or the part that's vulnerable, cannot be on the same pillar twice in a row. Oh god. It's also important to leave this fight with at least a little bit of health and whoops, and arrows as well. Okay, that was actually super good RNG though on the pillars.
Yeah, that was,
like
really,
I
yeah,
hardly
that was,
ever
really nice.
I hardly ever see them all in the front row like that. Okay, so it's important to note here that I will be skipping this heart container because I want to have low health, because we're about to come up to a section of the game that requires a bunch of death abuse. And I will be doing safety saves as well before a lot of these tricks, because these tricks are not the most forgiving, and they are also kind of volatile. Like, if you miss them normally, if you miss them without saving, you can lose, like, minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and not do that.
So, yeah. This ocarina is pretty broken, by the way. So yeah, so what we needed those green kinstones for is we're going to be using... We need those 4 green kinstones, and we manipulated for them to unlock these 4 trees here, and that's going to give us, you know, we have to go inside each of those trees, and we have to hit a switch. And that switch is going to lead us to a treasure chest that's in the center of the place, and it's going to give us the boomerang. And that boomerang is going to be pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. We can use the boomerang to do something called boss door clipping in Temple of Droplets, and also in Palace of Winds. And it saves just an absolute ton of time. Like, trust me, this is worth doing. Like, it takes a long time to get the boomerang, and also, like, get everything in order to, you know, get it. But
it still saves time.
Yeah, it still saves a lot. Alright, so now we got a bottle. The reason we needed that bottle is because we need an extra fairy in order to perform another death abuse glitch in Temple of Droplets, which happens to be probably the hardest trick in this run to nail, and also the most, like, one of the most notable. It's probably, I think it's the most recently found glitch. It's called Octoclip. So yeah, we can skip a very large majority of Temple of Droplets by doing that, but we'll get to that when we come to it. Alright, so yeah, I need to bonk that tree. Fun fact, there is a 1 in 16 chance that that tree will actually give you a kinstone instead of a fairy, and the community calls that fairy fiasco. It is bad. You want a fairy there, or else you lose, like, probably up to, like, 10 to 12 seconds getting another one. Alright, so here's fuse number 2 of 4 with the Tingle Bros. So yeah, once again, fusing with these Tingle Bros opens up these trees and allows us to get the boomerang in just a little bit. But coming up, would you like to explain, Ice, what Ocarina Glitch is?
Sure.
Awesome.
So Ocarina Glitch, what that's going to entail, basically, you have to play the ocarina on the same frame as entering a door, and it sets up like a weird state for Link, where he is, I mean, I don't, how can I explain this? It sets him up like in a weird state that allows you to set like a value for like another glitch coming. I'm not really 100% sure like how I can explain Ocarina Glitch. I just know the basics of it.
That's fine. So, like, yeah, the long story short is that we're putting Link in a state where the game essentially has him still playing the ocarina while he can move around. And right now I'm going to be doing a setup to open this door. Oh, you know what I just realized? I didn't save. Okay, I'm going to save. Yeah, I completely forgot to do that. And subsequently, I'm about to fail this glitch as well, so I'm just gonna reset after saving. I totally forgot to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and try this again. Whoops. Okay, so now. Not quite. Not quite. Please. There we go. Okay. So, in addition to Ocarina Glitch there, that's actually like probably the most involved usage of Ocarina Glitch in this whole run. I did something there called Portal Jump Storage. So, by putting Link in Ocarina Glitch Stage 1, what I'm able to do is jump onto that portal, and the game will try and like move me towards coordinate 0, 0. And coordinate 0, 0 is all the way at the top left of the screen, and we can use that to get up onto that platform there, onto that that little space where the last Tingle Bro is. And what that does is it skips me having to use the red sword to get up there and fuse with that Tingle Bro. What that does is it saves me 30 seconds later on travel time by getting 2 sword upgrades in 1 visit to Hyrule Castle. So all of that is to just save me some travel time later. Those rolls onto the side of the ladder are probably a little harder than they look. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get the boomerang. We're gonna grab another fairy on a tree to the east of here, and then we're gonna head over towards the lake house, back to Lake Hylia. There we go. I'm gonna damage down here. At least try to do it in a really fancy way. Ah, it's hard. Whatever. Okay. Oh, I need to actually dash into the tree. Whoops.
Chat, do you like cheating?
Here we go. Hope you do. I want to avoid these birds. Okay. So yeah, I need to damage down to a half a heart because we're about to death abuse once again. I'm gonna do a setup as well. I'm gonna save one more time.
So we're gonna use that portal jump storage and Ocarina Glitch here. Second time to
Oh, whoops.
allow us to basically walk on water.
Yep. All right. So I'm doing a setup here once again to die and open the door on the same frame. And now that we've activated Ocarina Glitch, we can now run on water and completely skip the flippers. Play the Ocarina again to get me out of the state, jump on in, and we're into Temple Droplets. So the reason I have to die and open the door on the same frame is because if I were not to do that, I would just get like sucked into the door, into the loading zone. Like normally when you open a door, the game automatically brings you into the loading zone. But if you die in the same frame, you can avoid that. And then proceed to use that to do OG. Okay, so now we're in Ocarina Glitch Stage 2. Stage 2 is where things can move around, like, you know, besides for just Link. But we can do that. We can transition layers and have Link, like, basically stay on that layer for the rest of the screen. And therefore... Oh, push this down, please. And therefore not have to abide by any laws of boundaries for the rest of the screen. Yeah, so...
I knew that Pokemon could evolve. We've been talking about that. I didn't know glitches could evolve too. This is wild.
Yes, this is evolution stage 2 of OG. Okay, so here's a boss door clip, by the way. Watch closely to what I'm about to do here. I'll do it, then I'll explain it. Okay, so by using the boomerang, like if the game knows that I'm trying to use an item, it won't actually transition me properly through a boss door. So the result is just a clip out of bounds. I can just walk out of bounds from there and go straight here. So this is the Blue Chew fight. This is where we get the lantern. We're basically just here to get the lantern, and then we're going to do Octoclip. So we're going to attempt that. That might take me a try or two. Hopefully it doesn't. I do need to damage down on this fight, though. I need to focus on damaging down. Ideally, I want to be at 3/4 of a heart by the end of this fight. Because Octoclip, once again, involves me dying and being revived by a fairy. There are a lot of tricks in this game, like especially in the latter half of the game, that involve you dying and coming back to life.
So, it's my favorite pastime.
So yeah, this boss is a lot like the boss of Dungeon 1, except it can electrocute you. And also is invulnerable for like the first bit of the fight, or the first bit of each cycle, I should say. Alright, so one more
While we're wrapping...
One more bit of damage here. You're fine. Go ahead. Real quick.
I was going to say, while we're wrapping this fight, I wanted to call out that because the donations coming in throughout this run so far, we are at $3,611 raised for charity so far. Now, this is a 4-sword sort of run. We got the 4 swords run for this. This run's got 4 elements. I wonder how close we can get to $4,000, chat, during this Legend of Zelda block. I know it's a little bit far away, but I have some faith in you. I think we can make some progress, so I would love to see how close we can get to that number during this run.
Good point there.
If everybody in chat right now donates $1, we could get to 4,000. Just saying.
Okay, so I'm going to do something here called an Ocarina Boost in order to do a trick called Octoclip, which is basically me just clipping through the Octorok here, like the giant Octorok, into the boss room. We'll do it, and then we'll explain what an Ocarina Boost actually is. There we go, perfect.
Nice.
All right, that's Octoclip, and that's an Ocarina Boost as well. So basically, I shielded the pot that was flying at me, which gave me knockback, and then playing the Ocarina exactly the frame after allowed me to ignore collision from there forward. So I was able.
It's also a very, very hard trick to do.
Yeah, I was able to. So basically, I was able to phase through the pot that I was pushing. That is that's a 3-roll pattern. Okay. By the way, this boss is manipulated. There's a lot of stuff here that I just it's really hard to explain as I'm doing it. But yeah, that is that's basically what Octoclip was, and now I'm manipulating this boss fight as well. I am identifying the rock patterns that fell from the ceiling in order to see how many rolls I need to do to roll RNG forward, because the RNG is consistent entering this room, even with Octoclip. Okay, that's an even pattern. That's 6 rolls. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Octo can give you an attack called the Ink Attack, which takes a lot of time. But we manipulated for that not to happen, and for us to get all rocks on this last cycle. And there we go. And that is Temple of Droplets. In a glitchless run, let me give you some perspective. In a glitchless run, this dungeon takes 15 minutes, I think.
We just did it in 3.
Basically.
Do you know what else we just did in 3 minutes?
What?
Oh no.
Oh, whoops.
We didn't quite get there yet, but we are like at $3,820.44 now, by the way. So if I have time for donations, I have a few to read, but let me know when's a good shot.
You can do that right now, actually.
All right, well, the large one that came in, Taco Von Dutch donated $200, saying, 4K, we got this, let's go!
Yo, thank you so much. Seriously.
No, adding on to that, Ori Sky donates $2.22, saying, $2.22 Dono Train hype, let's get to 4K. And we have an anonymous $2.22 donation saying, did I hear a $2.22 train? Choo-choo! We have also $5 from Anonymous and $2.22 from Prometheus saying, Ori made me do it.
Of course. Thank y'all so much. Seriously.
Yeah, thank y'all for all the donations.
Okay. So, remember when I said earlier that we could get 2 sword upgrades in one trip to Hyrule Castle? We're about to see the fruits of that effort. So, here we have the Sanctuary. This is our first trip here. We were supposed to do this immediately after Cave of Flames, but since then, we've completed 2 dungeons. But now we're going to get our first sword upgrade, which is the Red Sword. And this Red Sword is going to do us a lot of... it's going to do a lot of work for us here.
Yes. It's going to turn into another sword.
Yes. So here we have the Red Sword. So there's one upgrade. So I'm going to do something weird here, or weird seeming. I'm going to save and quit.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't do 2 sword upgrades in one go. I think you have to save and quit for it.
Yeah, you do. Yep, you have to either save and quit or leave the room, and saving and quitting is faster to do. So there we go. There's our first usage of the Red Sword, and it will also be our last usage of the Red Sword. So now we're gonna get the Blue Sword. So yeah, getting 2 sword upgrades in one here just saves a lot of back and forth travel time.
I just want to say the donations have kept rolling in. We have $22.22 from Stormrider, who says, 222 train, I may have misunderstood the rules to this. Good news, there are no rules. You're welcome on the train regardless. And we have $4.44 from Duskplume, who says, just because I have to be a little extra.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much for that. I will say with that, the lead has changed for the Monolith Relics of the Past category choice. Database is back in the lead again with $56.66 as opposed to Prisoner, which is at $36. So we want to switch that back around again, team. May want to start putting your donations there. But thank you again for everyone hopping on this train and keeping that donation total zooming up.
Okay, so this warp we actually unlocked earlier by fusing with somebody in the castle town. So ordinarily these NPCs block you. Yeah, not today. Ocarina Glitch allows you to just like phase completely through them, like they might as well not exist. There we go.
Done. First try both of them.
Now we're into Palace of Wind, so that completely skips the graveyard section. Like completely, which is really nice. And now we're in here. Okay, these first couple rooms, or just this first room really, is the hardest room in this entire place. Just because of these P-hats, the Stalfos here that can get in the way on the second part here. So getting hit by these Stalfos actually will get rid of your clones. There we go. By the way, that's the first instance of cloning in the entire run. So yeah, that's what cloning looks like, by the way. We're in the 5th dungeon out of 6, and we've finally seen a clone. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the first part where we actually need to clone, so... Okay... That was kind of awkward RNG, whatever. Alright, so upcoming is the Wizard fight. I'll be doing some quite specific things and also be trying to save a bomb as well. This fight is done pretty specifically. was pretty well done. I took some damage at the end there. Ideally, I wouldn't, but that's still a good fight. Alright, so this, those loading zones on the clouds, like, are actually an illusion. Ordinarily, you're supposed to, like, jump up them. Also, a little shortcut jump there with the setup. So the loading zone is actually just at the top of the screen, like, on the y-coordinate. So if you jump up there, you can just reach it instead of having to jump all the way up the clouds. It's a little faster. Alright, so here I'm going to do something called Stair Clip. There's a little gap in between the pieces of collision at the top of the staircase. So if I line myself up properly and also manipulate my subpixel as well by falling down, I can just run through the corner of it, and now we're out of bounds. So we use that to get here. Collect this key. Rolling before that jump is actually kind of tight. It's just a little time saver.
I mean, isn't this exactly how everybody else remembers this game?
Yeah. So this is a trick called Verbal Hop. Spelled W-I-R-B-E-L-H-O-P. That is another form of diagonal angle retention. You know, that thing that we did back in Cave of Flames? That is also utilizing that. So the hole just kind of launches us out to the side. Or to the, sorry, to an angle instead of to the side. There we go. But yeah, this place is actually really cool. The Rock's Cape actually is like a completely overpowered item as well. It is like, it's super fun to use. Shoutouts to the Capcom games for having Rock's Cape and being the only Zelda games to have the Rock's Cape as opposed to just the Rock's Feather.
Yo, have I ever told you that my favorite fighting game is Marvel vs. Capcom?
Damn it. Alright, so boss door clipping, by the way, you can also do boss door clipping with the lantern. But basically, as long as you are using an item as you go through the door, it works with either the boomerang or the lantern. You can just clip out of bounds and do this, and this cuts the Palace of Winds dungeon completely just way down. So here's the boss. We're actually at the boss now. This is probably the hardest boss in the run, by the way. Okay, besides Vadi, but still. Alright, so yeah, we have like these alternating patterns, these alternating cycles, rather, between the blue Georg and the red Georg. This is called the Georg pair, by the way. Shoutouts to Georg from Majora's Mask, which I guess was the inspiration for this boss. I have no idea why this is also called Georg, to be honest with you. He keeps giving me these cardinal patterns. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I don't know why I jumped. That's bad. I really didn't want to jump there. Ah. Alright, this is fine. Oh. No. Ugh. If I got the right pattern there, I could also do... What? I could also do something called Cloneless, which is hitting all the eyes in one... With only one of your... only one players, like without a clone. Also, this boss apparently takes away my ability to speak. But I've lost 3 straight 50-50s on Cloneless. You need the right pattern for it. Yeah, that was a really bad pattern there. That was a bad cycle. Oh well. Okay. Seriously? Georg, come on. 4 for 4? or 0 for 4 rather.
Say,
Depending on how you look at it. Georg is 4 for 4. I'm 0 for 4. All right, so that was Georg. That was the Georg pair. That was not a very polished fight, but you know, whatever. We didn't die, so.
While we're wrapping that up, can I read a polished donation?
You can read a polished donation for sure.
Awesome. We have $5 from Chef Saber, who says, if there was any game in the Zelda series that deserved some love, it's Minish Cap. TGH is always an amazing runner, and so is everyone else here helping make this marathon a reality. Much love to everyone, and I hope we can all remember Kid fondly for years to come. Thank you so much for that, Chef Saber.
Thank you, Chef. Very much appreciated.
And if I have a second, I see some people in chat asking about this upcoming bid war for Monolith Relics of the Past. So the information I have about these categories, I've not played this game though. The information I have is database percent is one of the secret endings. You have to go kill a database, which is apparently a thing you can do. And then prisoner percent is the bad ending, but it has a very difficult and unique final boss. So your trade-offs here are between a super secret stealth ending, I don't actually think it's stealth, but secret ending, and a very, very difficult bad ending final boss fight. So if that helps sway your ideas around where you want to put your money, now you know.
Okay, so that fight, the Keen of Eye may have noticed that that fight is not supposed to have the ladder in the middle of the arena like that. We were supposed to do that fight super early on in the run, like after Cave of Flames, but because we did Octoclip and also never really went to that area after getting the red sword, we do it right before we enter Dark Hyrule Castle. So as a result of that, like ordinarily that fight has a strat to it that makes that fight like almost kind of not automatic, but there's a strat that makes it a lot easier to do. The ladder makes it so that you can't do that strat. So yeah, we're left to kind of like improvise that fight. We're kind of at the mercy of some RNG as to how those moblins move. Got to kind of attack them from the side. But as we approach, we do have some time if you wanted to like say some messages, Char. We do have some time during this section as well as the cutscene following it, for some messages if you have any for us.
Awesome. I just wanted to update on that bid war. We are currently at, again, $56.66. I know how money works. For database percent, which is that secret ending, and $36 flat for prisoner percent, which is that really difficult final boss ending. So please get your donations in. That's 2 runs from now, so you do not have a ton of time to make that happen. And I wanted to update on our progress toward the Sonic One Forever Boss Rush incentive. With all the support coming in, we are now at $686.32 out of the needed $1,000. So we have made huge progress towards getting that incentive met. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. And again, our marathon total so far is at $3,854.32. Our current overall marathon target is $5,000, but our next milestone we're looking at to see how soon we can hit it is that $4,000, and we are not far away. We are less than $150 from that 4K milestone. So please, this is for a great cause. This is the Trevor Project. Please consider donating if you haven't already. If you can spare anything else, it really is a fantastic place to put your money. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, seriously, thank you so much. Alright, so a little bit about Dark Hyrule Castle. This place is like, the very beginning of it is difficult, and then everything else is just kind of like Ocarina Glitch, like everywhere. And using it to get out of bounds and get towards the end. There is a manip section near the end, right before we do the final manip, but just know that the final boss is, at least the first 2 sections of it, so Vadi 1, Vadi 2, or Vadi Reborn and Vadi Transfigured, as they are canonically known. Those 2 sections are manipulated, ideally. Like, I'll let you know if I fail the manip, but hopefully I don't. But yeah, it's definitely the hardest manip in the run to pull off. So right here, though, I am going to do a glitch called cutscene walking. Okay, I saved it. I was actually a little bit too far forward, but basically there's an Eslo trigger there, and if you use the Eslo trigger to sort of cancel the animation of the minister becoming freed, you can save 8 seconds by regaining movement here. Alright, so I'm going to try a Stair Clip here as well. This is actually subpixel, again, this is subpixel dependent, so... Oh, that was really good. Okay, that was, like, actually super legitimately good right there.
Nice, nice.
And a setup to get back in bounds. Whoops. If I nudge that left corner, I should be able to nudge that one. Good. Awesome. That was pretty decent. So that's the hardest part of DHC right there, at least in my opinion, is nailing that. Okay, so you're supposed to make clones for this room. We're gonna try our best to ignore that and just use a bomb instead to hit those cannons and just swing and hit those. And there we go. All right, so after we get this key that's upcoming up here, we're gonna be really breaking this place for sure. What am I doing?
We're gonna be cheating, y'all, like big time.
Hope I didn't mess this up too bad. Oh yeah, we're fine. Okay, that was awkward or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna be doing Ocarina Glitch a bunch of times here. And using the staircase up above to get out of bounds, just like we did in Temple of Droplets. Perfect. Okay, so we need one more key before we actually head to the back of DHC. So never mind the glitchy graphical elements there. Pick up some extra bombs.
So it's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
They call it Dark Hyrule Castle for nothing.
All right, so now we're going to do a route that looks very similar at the start. Those are some nice Ocarina glitches there. I'm also going to try and manip this section. So there's actually a manip that I can do. Hopefully I pull it off all the way up to a screen with some ghosts. The ghosts are called Genies in Zelda because, you know, Zelda has weird names for all its enemies basically, and they're called Genies. So but we're going to try and manip all the way up to those. Oh, that was weird. Am I behind or ahead? I'm going to guess I'm behind. That was weird. That felt good. Okay, so hopefully I fixed it there by rolling one last time. If I don't get it, it's not a big deal, but like it's just cool to get, I guess. Okay,
saves
so
like a couple seconds or so?
Yeah. So here I have to actually do some weird jumps to like some weird diagonal jumps to leave these rooms. And yeah, I did. I fixed them in it. Cool. All right, so perfect. So yeah, Ocarina Glitch. The Ocarina Glitch that I did earlier allows me to just walk on these pits, which is nice. Doing that room casually is not the fastest thing ever, so. Alright, and this guy should go down to 7 slashes, and I should see a shell drop there. Perfect. Yep, so we actually did save the minute. That's good. So, coming up, though, the Dark Nuts room is actually, like, one of the, like, I think it's the hardest part of the minute. So we're gonna try. Try and not mess this up. Sometimes it just like kind of doesn't work for a reason I can't discern, but yeah, perfect there. Awesome.
Nice. Nice, nice.
light all these torches, and now, like, a bonus of that, honestly, like, the Minip is for the Dark Nuts, I'm gonna be real, but a bonus for that is that I know exactly which of these guineas is gonna be the real one, and it's that one. It can be any of them, by the way. I didn't actually mention that. Okay, so from here on forth, I think I'm actually just gonna focus because I really want to nail this this last manipulation here. So basically, I think I have some notes about this. If you want to explain, Ice, like what exactly I'm gonna be doing here with this minute, like the important parts. I think
for Vadi or
yeah, for Vadi. Yeah, it should be the very last blurb, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, casually this fight is kind of a pain. You have a triple Dark Nut fight before we fight Vadi, and then we have Vadi, you know, the Vadi fight. And basically, like, we want to use, like, we want to do this manipulation in order to, hold on, let's see. Looking through notes to kind of explain this better.
Oh, I got the weird RNG. Okay, so I just need to do nothing here. Okay.
Sorry, I'm like watching your run and
no, you're fine. Like, let's see.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, essentially we want to keep this manipulation going to get certain like Vadi orbitals like spawns, and then like it allows us to get like the fastest pattern on like each of the orbital expends.
Yeah, essentially. And just know that like I have to swing my sword a certain amount of times, or else the Manip is dead. So like, in other words, if I miss an eyeball or swing an extra time trying to hit an eyeball, the Manip is dead, essentially. So like, I need to not miss any swings. So far, so good.
So now we're in Vadi 2. Not yet, not yet. Just kidding. Vadi 2 is the big eyeball. Yeah, with this Manip, basically, we know exactly where Vadi's gonna spawn. So Teach can use the Gush Jar to pull the dark energy that's surrounding the orbitals right when Vadi spawns in. And then with the Manip here, we know exactly which of the 4 orbs are the actual real eyeballs here, because we need to destroy those so we can attack the core.
Yep, so far this is perfect. So right there, dashing actually does advance the RNG, a total of 12 times actually. 4 for each dust kick. Need to be careful here not to get hit. Nice little dodge, that was perfect.
Nice.
That was
a really nice Vadi fight.
Yeah, those were flawless Vadis 1 and 2, for sure. From here on forth, we can't actually manipulate, or we can, theoretically, for at least like the first cycle of Vadi 3, but I don't really bother. Vadi...
Does it even save any time?
It can. But basically, like, because the Minish portal exists, for Vadi 3, the Minish portal, when you're near it, rolls RNG once every frame. So unless you like get onto that frame perfectly, reliably, you're not going to be manipulating that fight. Also, the eyes that move around inside each of the arms are not going to be worth your time the Manip either. Like, they're just going to ruin it. But yeah, I'm actually really happy that I pulled that off. in full, because that's like by far the most difficult manipulation in the run.
That was really, really well done.
All right, so here's Vadi 3. Vadi 3 will basically like, he'll plunge one of his arms down into the ground, and that's my cue to get over towards the Minish portal, and hopefully he does it sooner rather than later. He can do it kind of whenever he wants. Here we go, and there we go. I'm trying to also do something called, I'm trying to also do portal items to make that go by a little faster too, in order to, oh, please. All right, nice. Just in order to be on the Minish portal when I actually hit the arm, which saves me time getting on it. Down. Come on. Thank you. Nice, nailed both of them. Cool. The timing on those is kind of tight each. Oh, nice, right in front of me. Okay, that was alright. Okay, so last phase now. Both arms are gone, and now it's just the eye.
Time is coming up here.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, he's giving
6
me
hits.
lightning. That's bad. Yeah,
Is
two per cycle. Still has to be 3 cycles, unfortunately, but like he doesn't take any more damage after the first 2 hits there. So, you just use the time to go ahead and reclone yourself, because you might as well.
Alright, so
All right.
time will be coming up after this next cycle.
Yep. All right, and time.
Nice.
That is
Jeez.
that is the Minish Cap, any percent. So but yeah,
Yay,
thank you.
GG.
Thanks all for watching that. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around, and thank you for being the driving force. 1:30:33.
1:30:33 is your
Sick.
final time.
Awesome.
Not a bad time at all.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, like for real, like thank you the viewers and the donators, honestly, for being like the driving force behind this marathon, as well as all the staff and everything who've worked tirelessly over these past 3 weeks to get this event sorted out and get it honestly as successful as it has been so far on so many different fronts. And this marathon is going towards a super good cause as well. The Trevor Project, which is definitely, it is certainly what Kid would have wanted for us to raise money towards. Like, I didn't know Kid too well. Our interactions were few and far between. But I was fortunate enough to be able to co-commentate with them for the Sonic 3D Blast tournament that happened last year. And that was a lot of fun. I, of course, worked with them on staff for what is now known as Fast-Paced Events, but we didn't really have a name back then for Fast-Paced for Headspace, which is what that event was called. And they were just a blast to work with. They were always just a huge ball of positive energy. And I was super sad to see them go, and I'm heartbroken that I wasn't able to actually interact with them any more than I did. And yeah, just take the effort that you can to value yourself as much as you can, and those around you as well. Just check up on people. I don't have a lot else to say, honestly, but just, yeah, thanks for being such a huge part of this. We are certainly doing Kid proud with this, so thanks very much, everyone.